everyone. How are you today? I hope that you're having a really good day so far. I have glasses now. I think this is the first time I'm on the internet with my glasses, and I so far have trouble not pushing my face up against the lenses and smudging them and then not knowing how to clean them. But whatever, I'll get used to that. I'm briefly recording little snippets of my day to piece together because I don't have the attention span to sit down for 45 minutes or an hour. I'm sorry. I don't know why. It's just that's the only thing that's been causing me to procrastinate. But I'm trying to clean the house deeply this weekend so that I can move into the rest of my week with a lot of ease. And I have some cleaning up to do in the garden, so I hope to share my progress on that. I have a little snippet of the projects that I'm working on, and I'm casting on a new thing I'm kind of excited about. I have to finalize the details of the Owen cardigan to finally publish that on Etsy. I hope to do that by the end of today. And I said Etsy, I mean Ravelry, but maybe I should put my patterns on Etsy. I don't know. I'm thinking about doing a closet purge and putting some stuff up on the internet for sale, but I haven't really done that, like material online sales, in a while. And now that my work hours are while the post office is open, even though I like work in shipping, I feel like I don't want to ask questions about shipping because I don't want to like set off some red flag. I don't know, whatever. Ramble, but I'm just like twisting my hair up weird today. I don't know why I did this. It's just like a clip. I had the ends tucked in, but then they started like falling out. I like to just twist my hair while it's drying so that it is curly and not super frizzy. Those are my flowers from Valentine's Day, and I have a cup of coffee here. I bought this mug at the farmer's market a few months ago for $12. It's hand thrown by some Amish people from Pennsylvania. ASMR slurp, slurp, slurp. My arm's getting tired. I got my COVID-19 vaccination, the first dose of the Pfizer. I say Pfizer so I have some record of which one it is when I forget later on. But my arm is sore and my hip is bothering me. But I was kind of waiting for my hip to start bothering me soon. This Utopia Best Hand Cream Ever is decent hand cream. I don't hate it. It took some adjusting. Just the bottle and distribution is like different than normal. It's this like weird kind of pump. It reminds me of like shower. It reminds me of shaving cream. It's fine. I probably won't buy it again just because I don't think I ever buy the same hand cream again. I have like no loyalties to hand cream. If you have a hand cream loyalty, I would love to know. This is a candle that I bought recently from Target. I like it a lot because I can put a plant in it. This I need to wash because I burned my candle too close to my lamp. Thank God there's no oil in this. So there's like no risk of it bursting and breaking and causing a huge inferno. And this is a little heart-shaped box I bought on the Avenue here in Baltimore in Hamden. But I need to finish my second coffee, which is getting cold and it's not halfway gone, and I need to just get outside and see the sun and fresh air while the weather's good. I mean, it's gonna be great all day, but I do have in front of me some projects I'll show you really quick. I'm casting on a new design and studying an old one. I also ripped back a ton of my hand spun sweater. I need to go back to splitting the sleeves. So I've split for one sleeve. I'm procrastinating on the second for some reason. And I told myself I was gonna sit down and cast on this thing here, but I think what I might do is just get that sweater going again tonight before work so I can just stockinette the body and make some progress on that. And then in here, which is like my knitting to go bag, you might recall in my episode about this sweater or previous podcast episodes, the sleeves seem very short to me. Even, obviously in the sample, she doesn't roll them up, so it's disingenuous for me to roll it and then say, it's too short. But I don't love the shape, and that's why I cuffed it. And I'm just ripping back to here, and on this one, I'll pull it over so you can see. I have, it looks so wonky because the stitches are crinkled, but it'll block out fine. I think. If not, it's the elbow. I'm not really worried. You can tell that the stitches look very uneven. I'm blaming the yarn because it's very much, you know, textured. But I'm extending the sleeve. I think you can tell at a glance already it's longer, and I'm decreasing at the inside seam. So this is where I ripped back to. This is like right before the decrease round. I placed a marker just to match it up. And then I think I'm decreasing every third round. No, that's a lie. It's like every 6th row. So I'm decreasing on the knit round, and then I purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and then I'll decrease again. So I add a little marker each time I decrease. And a lot of the times when I make these decisions, I'll pull out a calculator and I'll factor the amount of length I want to knit versus how many stitches I want to end up with at the end. And that's kind of how I determine how frequently I decrease 2 stitches per decrease round. So I hope that makes sense to you. If not, that might be like a class or something. But that is the progress on my Wool and Honey. This is currently my car project. I have a job where I take a lunch break and I eat in my car and I knit for 15 minutes. And when the time allows, I'll take a short 10-15 and knit on this, something simple, something stockinette, or, you know, this is actually garter in the round, so there's purl rounds, but I never hate purling. And I guess this is my number 1. That's my number 2, number 3, and right now this is just my number 4 because it's not I honestly can't remember which cast on I used, and I'm trying to figure it out, and that's why I'm having the hardest time with a simple sock. I just have to start from scratch. And yeah, if you have a favorite sock cast on, let me know in a comment below. I would love to know what your standard cast on is, and if it's something that you don't absolutely love, I need to know that too, because I'm looking for the very best cast on ever. Like, I want to know the very best sock cast on. Which one is like the performer, the functioner, the aesthetics, like which one is the best one? Please let me know in a comment below. This audio is going to be trash because I have so many fans going down here, but these are my basil seedlings. Each 6-cell tray, I have 3 different varieties, and then I popped in some tomato seeds a few weeks ago among those little basils. Those ones are getting a really slow start. I wonder if they like it hot. But I have a little bit of chives. I just planted new tomato seedlings last night in those empty pots there and here. And then I have my cucumbers just popped up. I have some lettuces I'm picking from and eating. Those are just some like 4-inch pots that I seeded. I don't know if that's heavy or not, but we're growing some grass for our cats, and I have a couple pepper plants here that are doing really, really well. I have obviously a fly tape because I use compost and it has many alive things in it. These are all zinnias. These are flowers I've just kind of overseeded. I don't know if I should thin them out or just leave them be, maybe separate them out. I started a couple beans indoors just to compare indoor versus outdoor planting. My okra anytime they pop up, they're super yellow. I have like one that's kind of green over here, one or two. I wonder if that ever happens to you or what's going on. Maybe they need to be seeded into like more nutrient dense material. I'm not sure. But I'm growing a ton of zinnias this spring. I have my nasturtiums going. Those will probably head outside sooner than the rest. And I'm trying to start some sunflowers inside. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. They really should probably be direct sown. I think that I was successful in seeding some marigolds that I collected along the neighborhood. I think those are marigold seedlings. I didn't label anything, as you can tell. That is semi-frustrating, but I can recognize things when they pop up, except for, of course, varieties of flowers among the same species. But I have in that back corner there my calendula. Those I kind of seeded heavily. I wonder if I can spread them out by now. I think I would pot them up, honestly, if I had the space. I have up here a bunch of pepper plants. We have 2 per variety for growing outdoors. We have a big indoor grow space too that we're growing a few 4 different pepper plants to compare indoor versus outdoor. And these are some Russian kale seedlings. My kale seedlings are always very spindly. I don't know if you ever have that issue, but I do. In this dank corner of our basement, we have our brand new boiler. We went with a company called All Steamed Up, based out of Towson, Maryland. If you ever need a boiler repair or installation, I highly, highly recommend them. They are not sponsoring this video, but Gordon has his own YouTube channel, which I just thought was so cool. I love listening to anybody who's passionate about what they do, share how they do it and all their modifications. I feel like they've pimped my boiler with all of their knowledge. Yesterday, when we rode our bikes to the vaccination station, on the way home, actually no, we were planning to do it on the way home, but we actually rode all the way home to take a bathroom break. But we walked over to the Ace Hardware and I bought this gorgeous planter. It was a whopping $20. I don't know what got into me, but I liked the little stand. It's very white. I feel like it almost doesn't go with my very like brownie orange aesthetic. But my cat has some white and she's got the brownie orange aesthetic. So I'm just, embracing it. And I found this, it's really a cutting. I mean, one of them is rooted and the other is just a pure cutting plant. I don't even know what it's called, but I see everyone has them and they're so cute. I'm sure some of these leaves are on their way out, but it just needs a moment to get established. It was only $3. This is where I hold my phone when I generally record in this room. This is the side of the room that you don't see when I'm recording my regular podcast. Is that lighting any better? I really can't tell. Anyway, this is the sunroom of our home. And most of my plants made it through the winter. Sometimes a few of them struggle. Some struggle more than others. And given the fact that we didn't have heat for several nights of this year, we were extremely lucky. Our plants were very lucky and fortunate that it was a very warm afternoon on the days that we didn't have heat. So if it ever got chilly, it was just for a few hours. I'm trying to propagate my fiddle leaf fig, as you can tell. I don't know if those leaves are going to make it, but I think some of the stems are doing fine. One at least is growing roots. So, and this is kind of my mother plant that I propagate a lot of my pothos. The plastic covering the windows is falling. We should probably just take that down. And I just lopped off the top of this fiddle leaf. It was leaning, it was too tall for the room, and I felt like it needed to branch out before it's too tall so I don't have to stake it upright. But a lot of these plants in these kind of semi-large containers in this room are somewhat new to me, but this one has been putting out a lot of new leaves since I think I took it home. Anything above this is like fresh growth, and that's just from it living in actual soil. For a long time it was just in pure water with a little bit of root stimulant stuff, but it's not an ideal long-term solution in my mind for most plants. I'm not an expert, I just have opinions, and I feel like this plant is much happier now than it was. I need to take that salt bag to the basement. But anyway, when I have wide pots with tall, narrow plants, I like to throw in a little pothos. I don't know if that's good for everyone, but it looks better than a bare base to me, and I don't feel like this plant has been exceedingly robbed of energy from it, so that's working out so far. I had a little cutting of one of these and just popped it in there. It's like I'm making it a little variety pot. I try to plug little creatures whenever I have the chance into pots as well. I don't think I have any creatures in this one, but this is another where I've just popped a random cutting. I don't know if you can see that. It's out of focus. But this I got as a wee baby, and it's grown like a foot. It's grown a lot too, like from here up since I brought it in this space. So it is thriving. And the snake plant too, it seems to be doing fine in that far corner there. This is where I just toss all the animal toys. This plant is a little worse for wear. I don't know what's happening here, but it did put up a new entire plant in the center, so that is pretty cool. And of course the Norfolk Island pine is loving this room. It can't stop growing. I hope it will one day, but there's like 3 trees in this one pot, and this one has grown up so much just in the last year or so. It's getting bigger. Sometimes a leaf is falling, like right now I think this branch is dying back. It'll kind of die back one at a time, so it's never perfect to live inside as a tree, but this one is quite a tree. It's huge and weird. I don't know why, but it's doing much better than this rubber tree. This rubber tree has put out some new growth. As you can see here, this is not old growth, but it's not growing rapidly. That's like probably as much as it's grown this last year. I don't know if that's normal for these or not, but it is putting out new leaves, as you can tell. And it is winter, so it seems to be doing all right. I think I might have recently topped off this plant with some compost to kind of feed it, freshen it up a little bit. It needs a polishing. At the thrift store, I got this little grab bag. I don't know if your thrift store does this, but it puts the smallest tchotchkes in these little grab bags where you have to pay like $2.99 or like $5.99. And I paid like $4 for 2 little owl figurines. I used to collect owl figurines, and I have stopped in recent years, but when I saw these 2, I just felt like I needed them and splurged. And so they kind of are finishing out my little owl entry point. I try to collect multiple owls. Obviously there's a couple singular owls, but whenever I have 2 owls together, I like to put them close to each other, and there's multiple owls there. So I don't know, it's just a way that I try to make things seem organized. I don't know. This is the other side of our entry point. We need to replace this carpet soon. It's kind of wearing out. I have a bag to give my mother-in-law there. This is Scab. Hello, Scab. Are you ignoring the camera? I have knocked this oil diffuser over at least once, but I like it here because it's where I can smell it the most. And I'm planning to take down this fake pothos and our holiday lights. It's just time. This time has changed. It's daylight savings, and it's time that I decide I'm taking down my stairwell decor for the season. I started this in the fall. I had tons of flowers, like orange and yellow flowers in there for this fall season, and then I just pulled them out and put up lights for the winter, and that was our winter holiday home decor in a nutshell. That was basically it. So I'm gonna get to that. It's time that I go outside. Well, I'm really glad I'm wrapping up because it's getting kind of windy, but I wanted to give you a garden tour of mid-March. These are last year's collard greens. I'm gonna top off that bed with some compost in the mid-spring. Add some nasturtiums. I don't know, pop something in there. I hope I get some seed from these plants. That would be nice. You can see I'm already getting some white flies. I'm trying to keep that population down this year. These are black-eyed Susan seedlings. I have a blueberry bush with a lot of little buds. This blueberry bush, I have 3. It's the Blueberry Misty. That one did the best. This bed, I blew all the leaf mulch kind of over towards the raspberries and moved it into the compost. This blueberry bush I stepped on, so last year it was just this one stick and then it grew out all these branches. It looks like I might get a tiny bit of fruit from this plant. And the third one I'll show you in a minute. I hacked away at this stump. Every year I put my wreath from the winter out into the garden. I have my planters. This is some sorrel, lemon balm, stinging nettles. These black-eyed Susans I just need a home for someplace, any place, maybe the front yard. And I have a few cilantro. I'm gonna top these off with some worm castings, I think. This is a volunteer cleaver. I'll keep that growing for a while. These are new planters I bought in the winter, and I'm excited to figure out what'll grow well there. I'm thinking something that enjoys the shade. So we have some sad looking collard greens, last year's collard greens. I have a couple new kale. These I planted in the fall, I think. So this one's in good condition, as is that one over there, but last year's kale did not do so well. I tied up my raspberries real tight. That St. John's wort there should start putting out some green. The blackberries have really been thinned. I have a black raspberry that really took root last year, and I should get fruit for the first time this year, if not just a small handful. I have a ton of leaves for the spring to continue composting in my compost containers here. I got these on Amazon. They're like 36 bucks. One of them I usually have full of leaves. But right now they're just in my beds, because what I do is I'll sometimes flip one into the next. My compost is pushing 110 in the center, so that is ideal. And soon I'll have food for my plants. Sometimes in the summer I'll start filling the second one up after this one's full. If you eat a lot of watermelon or cantaloupe or bananas like I do, you get a lot of green material for composting. I found this new chair at the thrift store this week. I went back to return a pair of pants and a flat sheet that I bought. It was marked as the wrong size and I didn't check, but I was able to get a store credit in exchange for anything that day, and I found this beauty. I wanted to buy all 4 of them, but someone sniped one of them while I was securing my bag, and I thought I only really need one, but the other 2 I saw left the store before I even did, so I was lucky to even get one, and I paid $15 for it, and I love it so much. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you want to reach out to me on social media, my name is Tayloreowen on Ravelry, Instagram, or Twitter. I'm also on TikTok as Taylor Knits. I have been enjoying that platform, mostly scrolling, but sometimes I make little things. I don't know, whatever. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful day and that you